Welcome back to Fast Market here on the TD Ameritrade Network. Let's bring in our next guest for our cash tag segment. That's going to be Landon Swan, co-founder of Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right, so we're talking home improvement. We're talking Lowe's. As I mentioned before the break, stock's basically been flatlined from about a year ago levels. Some volatility and chop throughout the last year. What kind of data are you guys seeing out of Likefolio? It seems like people are pulling back on spending not only on their houses, but for goods or in general discretionary items, going back to staples. Is that happening here in home improvement also?
Yeah, it really is. So if you look at, what I'd like to do today is kind of compare and contrast Home Depot and Lowe's. It's one of the rare opportunities where we have two companies that are very, very, very similar. So if you look at this, I think the big difference is in where they get their money. Home Depot is about 50-50 between the contractor and the pro, and Lowe's is more 75-25 on the do-it-yourself type person. And if you look at, so right now we've got this scatter plot up right now. You can see that Home Depot's dropping around 17% year over year on purchase intent. Lowe's dropping about 24%. Happiness, pretty close. Home Depot's got a slight edge. But I think a lot of this has to do with what's happening in those demographics, right? You're talking about the professional contractor that generally is more likely to shop at Home Depot versus the do-it-yourselfer, which is generally more likely to shop at Lowe's. If you look at home renovation, that chart is actually down significantly over the last year or so. It's down about 26%. People talking about renovating their home. Generally speaking, if you're talking about renovating your home, you're more likely to go to Lowe's. You might be going to Home Depot, but you're more likely to be going to Lowe's. So this is a big part of their customer base, and it's falling off significantly on a year-over-year basis. There was that nice bump back in COVID times when everyone kind of did something. A lot of home renovation back then. But this is still year over year. This is not year over 2020. So that's still down on significantly. But if you look at contractor mentions, people talking about hiring a contractor, that's actually up about 10% on a year over year basis. So that's going to bode a little bit better for Home Depot. Now, obviously, it's not just contractors that go to Home Depot. They would prefer home renovation is up as well. They both want to do better. But if you had to pick between these two, obviously the data is coming in a little bit stronger for Home Depot. Both of them are weaker on a year-over-year basis, but both of them, if you look at and compare and contrast, Home Depot is doing a little bit better pretty much in every category. And actually, if you extend that to the stock, I'm a little bit of a contrarian. So if I'm thinking about getting in something long, I'd rather the stock be down. I don't want to buy at all-time highs. I'd rather get a little dip in. So Home Depot is down about 6% over the last 3 months, whereas Lowe's is up slightly, maybe plus 2%. So it's actually a better buy right now than it was compared to Lowe's, which is, as you guys mentioned, it's pretty much flat and consolidating, but, down 6% versus plus 2%, there's a small difference there. So all in all, we're a little bit bearish on Lowe's, and I wouldn't say we're bullish on Home Depot, but if you have to pick one of these to put an investment into, I would definitely lean more towards Home Depot.
Landon, I understand the competition. I understand that Home Depot's the leader in this, but if you look from an opportunity standpoint, you can tell that Lowe's is starting to concentrate on this this contractor. 11 straight quarters, their pro business is up double digits. My contention is that you never stop working on your home, ever. And 50% of the homes in this country are more than 40 years old. And you can make a case higher interest rates equals less people moving, equals more people working on their homes. And I get the dip in these names, but this is destined to be cyclical and destined to come back, right? So believe me, Lowe's has earnings on the 23rd of May, Home Depot on the 16th. You got to trade them on both those dates because they're going to move in unison. But don't you think that 25% pro business that Lowe's has versus Home Depot, I see that as an opportunity for Lowe's if done correctly?
Yeah, I think so. It is an opportunity. There's only upside there. And I think they've taken some steps towards that. They talk about it in their last earnings report. They know they're way behind on that. And so they're going to try to catch up. So I would say that you're right. There is an opportunity there. But they both were in this spot, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and look who's done the dominating. It's been Home Depot. So yeah, there's an opportunity, but the opportunity is there because they haven't executed very well when it comes to Lowe's attracting those professionals and the contractors. So yes, they could take off. As far as the home renovation, I mean, I agree. There's some old homes out there. And there's not a lot, based on interest rates, not a lot of people are moving right now. I mean, if you took your house and you went and moved to the exact same price house, your mortgage rate would go up like 20, 30, 40, 50%, depending on where you got in, because interest rates are just so much higher. So moving right now is not great. Liquidity's down on homes. So people are stuck in their homes. But I think a lot of the home renovation was done 2 or 3 years ago, either during COVID when everyone was stuck inside and they were looking at the same carpet, same walls, and they did a lot. We had a huge spike in home renovation during COVID. And then during that big move, when everybody decided to pick up and move and all the homes were selling in summer of 21, every time somebody bought a new house, immediately the first thing you do is you want to change it and renovate it. So I think a lot of those bullets have been fired, right? I really think that a lot of the home renovation that's been done or that would be done has already been done. So until people start moving again, or it's just been a long enough period of time since that last one, and you can say, you know what, those colors we picked out in 2020 are looking stale, let's get something new. Until then, I think that home renovation is likely to stay down. And so it's very important for Lowe's to cut into Home Depot's lead on the professionals and the contractors.
Yeah, and on the back of that, information about home renovation, I think people need to pull back on travel experiences and going out to eat, because that seems to be the only thing that's expanding right now, Landon. But with Lowe's relying so heavily on the do-it-yourselfer as opposed to the professional business, Kevin mentioned they've got an opportunity there, but Home Depot continues to eat their lunch on it. Is that the concern where, hey, I'm not going to redo my bathroom, I'm going to go take this trip down to the Caribbean instead? And that seems to be what people are doing, and that's going to be the problem for Lowe's in the near term anyway.
Yeah, I think so, because if you think about what people were doing in 2020 and 2021, they were spending money on their home and they weren't going on vacation. So now we're out of that, and you're going to do the thing that you missed and that you haven't done. So I think that people are more likely to spend money on on experiences, going out to eat or on vacation, things like that. So I agree. It is upside, though. I mean, I think Kevin has a great point with the upside on the professional side for Lowe's, but it's just a big uphill battle because these guys are very, very loyal, and Home Depot's been taking care of them. So why would they switch? It's an uphill battle to get them to switch over. If they can do that, then yes, then Lowe's is going to perform fantastically. I don't know if that's going to be the case, though. I think that just history shows us that Home Depot's been, like you said, eating their lunch. So what's going to change now? Like, they know that Lowe's is coming after them, so everything that Lowe's does, they can match. And so I just don't see it happening. But I'm not an executive at Lowe's. Maybe they know better than me. Maybe they have a better plan than I think.
Yeah, and the fact that I can now get a contractor relatively easily as opposed to a year or two ago, that might be a warning signal also. All right, great data as always, Landon. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, that's Landon Swan, co-founder of Likefolio, breaking down the data for us on Lowe's here. Now,